Over the past years, the role of the private sector in development has garnered increased attention. As a result, donors and many civil society organizations are considering engaging the private sector to achieve various development objectives, among them promoting women's rights. In the developing world, and in this case East Africa, the private sector has been engaged on a small scale and is yet to become a major player in women's empowerment. Marina Kasa Bukachi is the Executive Director of the East African Sub-Regional Support Initiative for the Advancement of Women, EASI. EASI is a registered sub-regional civil society organization working in 8 countries in the East African sub-region, namely Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, Eritrea, Ethiopia, and Somalia.
It's focusing on women's economic empowerment because we believe that an empowered woman is a woman who can make decisions, economically empowered woman.
EASI has made attempts to form partnerships with the private sector, and these have greatly benefited the local women.
So what EASI has done is to join membership, for example, of the Uganda National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and we sit on the committee that makes policies, and in this way we are able to infuse women's issues within the National Chamber of Commerce. We also signed a memorandum of understanding with the Uganda Export Promotion Board, and this is a body that promotes export, and therefore having our women or having a partnership with them.
Among the private sector organizations is UMA. The Uganda Manufacturers Association, an umbrella body that brings together private companies, is the second biggest employer next to the Ugandan government. Majority of its employees are women, but how has it addressed the issue of women's rights?
We've got also a program which we call reproductive health program. When they are going to deliver, how do we help them? When they are in hospital ready to deliver, how do we help them? When they've just delivered, how do we help them? We've gone in that. We provide kits like Mama Kitty, that kind of thing, nets, training on how best they can handle their children, how they should not be, worry much about leaving them behind at that tender age.
Even those women who are in the private sector, their rights are violated. For example, the right to maternity leave. You're supposed to have 90 days. In some of these institutions or firms, if you go for 90 days, then when you come back, you find someone is sitting on your desk or is doing your job. You find the working hours or the working conditions are not conducive. You do not have time to rest. I guess this applies to both women and men. Some industries like manufacturing industries, the pay is low.
It is everybody's right to work, and it is everybody's right to live. It's not, the rights are not excluded to men. Even women have got their rights. So we normally, during our programs of sensitizing, we tell them, let no one threaten you by saying he's going to sack you because you refused his advance.
Some private sector organizations who have never worked with women before, when you talk about women's rights, they fear. They feel challenged. What are these rights? They still want to know. What do you mean by women's rights? So even the language is still new to them. So that is challenging. And penetrating them fully, it's just like putting one step in the door.
We are trying to bring as many institutions through PSFU, which are dealing with women, to see who is doing what in this region, so that we don't duplicate. Or if EASI is in Jinja and UMA is also in Jinja, what is that UMA can do and EASI can do, WIL can do, FUE can do? We share.
I think women's civil society organizations should come together, Because right now, EACI is the main organization that is trying to penetrate the private sector. And women are working in different areas. Some are working in peace and security, some are working on reproductive health, we are working on economic empowerment. All these things put together constitute women's empowerment or women's rights.
What have been the achievements of private sector engagements so far?
What we have also done through this partnership is to train women on quality control. This is through the Uganda Bureau of Standards, which is not a private sector body per se, but it's a regulatory body for the government and of course the private sector. And as a result of this, we have seen that the quality of the products of the women has actually changed. This means that they can increase the value of their products, sell them at a higher price. Some of them have even gone into wine making, packaging, bottling, and those wines are competing with wines in the supermarkets.
One of the biggest achievements we've had is, one, getting more women on board, coming to seek for employment, which originally they were shying away from. How am I going to leave my kid behind? How am I going to leave my husband? How am I? That kind of thing. We've told them no. It's not only work that you are going to work from 8 to 6. In many of our companies, we have what we call shifts. If there is a shift from 8 to 2, isn't that good enough for you to come and earn something? And many have said, you have done it for us.
If you have a woman who is happy that she has taken maternity leave, a woman who has good working hours, a woman who is being paid what she's supposed to be paid, her production will go up and you will not have high turnover. You know, the work environment will be conducive. So it's a win-win for everyone.
Partnerships between women's rights organizations and the private sector are possible, but efforts should be made to expand such partnerships to a bigger degree such that women's rights are not only promoted in the civil society organizations, but the private sector as well.